Madam Speaker, it's my pleasure to rise in the House today to speak to Bill C-228, a bill brought forward by my good friend and colleague, the MP for Sarnia-Lambton. The intent of this excellently drafted bill is to offer concrete pension protection for Canadian seniors, something that is seriously lacking in Canada's existing laws. In the context of rising inflation and the alarming increase in our national debt and climbing daily costs, this bill is never more needed than now. As the cost of living keeps going up, seniors will be left without enough to live on if their pensions are subject to insolvency. A pension is the portion of a worker's wages that companies put aside for their workers' retirement. This is money employees have not only earned, but it is understood to be their reward for the years of hard work. It is heartbreaking to hear countless stories of employees that have had their pensions drastically cut and their plans for retirement dashed. One local example of the devastation that results in the absence of adequate pension protection is the former General Chemical plant, a company that was located in my riding in the town of Amherstburg. On the brink of bankruptcy, they pulled up stakes, leaving only hardships in their wake. In an article from the Windsor Star in 2010 and recently updated in 2020, we learn of Fran McLeod and how she was impacted. Fran worked for 47 years at the Amherstburg plant. A significant portion of the money that Fran had worked hard to set aside those 47 years for her retirement was lost. All of those years at the same company, sacrificing her time and energy and the better part of her life to only have the bulk of her pension income be taken from her. Fran's pension income fell from $2,500 to $1,900 and then a final cut to $1,000 a month. Imagine the impact to a cut to your income of $1,500 during your retirement years. What does this kind of situation do to someone's mental health? What does it do to someone's family? What does it say about our nation and the value we put on seniors who have built our communities? Madam Speaker, one of the greatest days of my life was when my grandson Levi came into this world. He is a joy to be with. One thing I especially look forward to as he grows up is being able to buy him hockey gear and take him out for fun activities, together with his Grammy, my beautiful wife Allison, when we retire. But for those who have lost a major part of their pension, this can be a huge challenge, and now on top of all that, inflation is making it difficult to even pay the necessities. Never mind the things that bring us joy. Those who have obviously worked hard to contribute to their pensions in the first place now live in fear that without the proper laws in place to protect their pensions, all can be lost. Workers are not even considered priority creditors, and sometimes, as was the case at General Chemical, not at the table at all. That's just not right, Madam Speaker. I want Canada to lead the way in rewarding hardworking seniors in what is supposed to be their golden years. I just don't see that with the current laws regarding pensions. All Canadians should have a secure and dignified retirement, along with peace of mind when it comes to the contributions they have paid into for their retirement pension. As General Chemical and Sears have shown, security of a pension can be lost in a moment. We must and can do better for our seniors. Cody Cooper lives in my riding. He's president of Chrysler Canada Retirees Organization. Mr. Cooper puts it like this, and I quote, "We need to stop using pensions as piggy banks to solve liquidity problems. It doesn't cost taxpayers anything to ensure people get the pensions they worked for their whole lives," end quote. And that's exactly right. We're not asking the government to pay money to anyone it doesn't belong to. To be clear, prioritizing workers during bankruptcy does not cost the taxpayer anything. If a company signs a contract with an employee, that agreement should be kept to the end of their employment. And in the case of a pension, to the end of a person's life. A company should not be able to back out when it comes time to pay. Bill C-228 brings together past bills of similar nature and adds some new and significant changes to the existing legislation. The current legislation makes it optional for companies to act on insolvency. Meanwhile, courts can step in, but only voluntarily. And this much change. Bill C-228 answers the problem of pension insolvency in three main areas. It requires that an annual report on the solvency of pension funds be tabled here in the House of Commons for greater transparency and oversight. And this is exactly the kind of issue that needs more transparency and oversight from the government. It provides a mechanism to transfer funds into a pension fund to restore it to solvency, to ensure the insolvent portion until the fund can be restored. And these first 2 points will make sure that there is a scrutiny to ensure that pension funds are solvent, that they remain solvent, or that they're fixed if they're starting to slip. And number 3, in the case of bankruptcy, pensions would be paid out ahead of large creditors, and especially executive bonuses. With respect to the latter, companies have been giving out bonuses or paying off their debt to creditors before they pay their employees' pensions. This is a classic example of the rich getting richer. My good friend and colleague, the MP from Sarnia-Lambton, has shared in her op-ed in the Sarnia Observer that one of her neighbours was let go amid Sears bankruptcy. At the end of the day, she was only paid 70 cents on the dollar. Yet, all the executives got big bonuses, she said, and that is just not right. In the case of Sears bankruptcy, former employees had the pain of losing their jobs at Sears and a portion of their pensions from the $270 million deficit in the pension plan. Bill McKinnon from Windsor, who started at Sears in 1975, said, and I quote, "For us pensioners that were counting on that, we've lost our medical, we've lost our life insurance, we've lost our dental, we've lost our prescriptions, and by the looks of it, we're going to lose over 20% of our pensions." Close quote. The Canadian Association of Retired Persons, CARP, did a survey of their members who had pensions, and almost 40% told them that they were afraid that they were going to outlive their money. This is the reality of the current legislation. Seniors have no control over their own money and no control over their finances for their retirement years. Laura Tamblin-Watts, Chief Executive of CanAge, a nonpartisan national advocacy group for seniors, a lawyer and senior advocate, said, and I quote, "Everyday Canadians may not understand the technical terms in the law, but they understand the Sears Canada story. For instance, if you tell somebody that the pensioners at Sears in the U.S. didn't lose any money or any benefits, but they lost 20% of their pension payments in Canada and really all their benefits, people are shocked to understand that the U.S. has better protection." Madam Speaker, Bill C-228 has taken into consideration the content of several previous bills such as C-405 for the Conservative MP for Durham, Bill C-253 from the bloc member from Manicouagan, and the NDP member for Elmwood Transcona, who reintroduced the bill by former MP Scott Duvall. That bill was C-259 in 2020 and now C-225. In drafting this bill, my honourable colleague has studied and researched the current laws and included the many organizations, experts, and individuals needed to make